One more thing on this. In 2012, the president, in an interview that I did for The Atlantic, told me that all options were on the table, that the military option was a live option for him, and that as president of the United States, I don't bluff. In other words, he was not trying to trick the Israelis into not doing something. He was not trying to trick the Arabs into thinking that he was with them when he wasn't. After the Syria Red Line issue came up, there became a new feeling in the Middle East that the president was bluffing. Can you frame that a little bit for me and just answer my very simple question? Was the president kidding with me when he said that he wasn't going to bluff?
No. Look, let's take Syria first of all. After the president threatened military action, there was an agreement that allowed us to remove Assad's declared chemical weapons stockpiles and destroy them outside of the country. If we had bombed Syria, it is far more likely that that stockpile would have been either used or moved underground. And frankly, today, we'd be talking about a Syria that is disintegrating with ISIL moving across large swaths of territory with lots of unsecured chemical weapons. We are better off in the world we are today with
Have you done a map overlay to see where ISIS is? And we're going to do the traditional thing where the administration guy says ISIL and I say ISIS. No one knows why this is, but this is the way it is. But it just is. It's like part of nature.
We could say dash.
Dash. Yeah. It's just part of nature now. But I mean, have you looked at where ISIS is and where those facilities were? How much of an overlay is there?
Look, there are opposition elements, including extremist opposition elements, that are just for instance, in the vicinity of Damascus now, in Idlib province now. I don't want to get into too many specifics, but the Assad regime has lost a lot of territory in recent months. And again, the fact of the matter is, there's a sense that he should have just bombed Syria to prove that he would bomb a country because he said he would. But the purpose of the Red Line was to deal with the chemical weapons issue. It's a bit like the Iranian question. If you can resolve the issue diplomatically, why is it the case that you shouldn't do that because you have to show people you will use military force? That is what has drawn America into military engagements that have been, frankly, very difficult to extricate ourselves from. And look, the president is measured, and he takes a lot of criticism. But the fact is, you get the criticism, and the day after you use military action, it shifts to, well, what's the exit strategy? What's the plan here? The day that, I can guarantee you, the day that we use military force to take out the Assad regime, for instance, if that were to happen, people would say, well, what are you going to put in place next? Are you going to make sure that Assad goes? Or are you going to prevent these people from fighting each other on the ground? And I think these debates become a bit caricatures of themselves, that the United States just has to go around the world using military action to make the point that we'll use military action. This is a president who has used military action on many cases. He's used it in Afghanistan, in Pakistan, in Iraq, in Syria against ISIL, in Somalia, in Yemen, in Libya. This is not a president who's been unwilling to use military action, including taking huge risks, like ordering special forces raids deep into Pakistan or deep into Syria, when he felt that America's national security interests required it. And if Iran was on the verge of obtaining a nuclear weapon, that clearly would require the United States to consider the use of military action. And we have done more under our administration to make that option possible. If you look at our force posture in the Gulf, in the region, if you look at the capabilities that we have in place, we have a military option available. The question is, should we exercise it without exhausting diplomacy that could resolve the issue?
Does he think